Hey, folks, this is Dre, Tattoo Squid Podcast, the host of Tattoo Squid Podcast. Um, Today is Tuesday, the day before Hump Day, and that damn camel better not come around while I'm talking. I don't think he's gonna fit in here anyway, but imagine he comes through that door. Well, anyway, um, it's been a while. Well, since a week and a half ago or something. Um, I'm trying to do this every week like I used to do, but now uh it's been one of those kind of things, folks. Anyway, so I'm gonna start off with um basically I want to start off with a somber moment, um, which hasn't been uh recent or anything, as of like last year, but it came to mind. I was thinking about something, and my friend uh, Adam Clark, came to mind, and I forgot what the whole thing was about, but I think it was like camping wise, or it was like more. Oh, somebody was mentioning dominoes, and the game of dominoes, where I found out about dominoes when I was working at a certain company. I'm not gonna say what, but that's where I met my friend Adam. And my friend Adam is not with us. Um, he passed away last year due to a aneurysm. Um, I think I believe like in the head brain area. Um, so the reason why dominoes comes to effect of, thinking about it, uh, we always play dominoes. Like all our coworkers, whenever we have a break, um, we go up there, and there was like a section where we have a cafeteria where people smokes and another cafeteria where people don't smoke. But then the ones that do smoke or in the smoking area, we would play dominoes, chess, cards, watch, basically watch TV, sports and baseball and football and whatnot. But our main thing was dominoes. And we had these seats where we would sit, and it's like along the wall, kind of like a school cafeteria kind of thing. We get little tables, but that whole one wall would be like 15, 20 people playing dominoes, you know. And I was never really into dominoes because I never really played it. But then once I started working at said place, um, started playing dominoes, and that's where I met my friend Adam. And me and him are like, and you can ask anybody that works at a certain place that I mean, I could say, but I'm not going to. Um, but we were like inseparable. We're like uh somewhat like I consider like most of my friends I known for a long time, and I consider them family. So my friend Key, I know him for like 30 years. He's like a brother to me, even though I have a younger brother, that's 2 years, whatever. But my friend Key's like a brother, and Adam is like the closest like a brother I have, even though I have a younger brother. Um, and my younger brother always does like his own thing, and we don't really hang out as much. But with Adam, me and him get to hang out and do some crazy fucking shit. Well, anyway, so when we started working, I'm going to try to make this short. But the basically we were hanging out, we get like a case of beer after our shift is done. We go in the parking lot, we go and drink, um, and until like the sun comes up. We get out like 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll be drinking until like it's 6 or 7, and when the light comes on, like the sunlight comes out, we're like, oh shit, we gotta go. Um, but we would be doing whatever, we're playing dominoes, we go drink, we go to people's houses, we go to events. We went to I think we went to baseball games, but I mean honestly, we drank so much that I don't remember half the stuff. But when my wife, when she was alive, when we were going out and hanging out, um, Adam was planning to go back to his home state, which was Arkansas. So we all got together. It was just me and my wife Linda, um, and Adam, and we went to a place called Applebee's. Everybody knows what Applebee's is. But this is what I'm going to tell you because they have these mugs, and mugs are about like yay fucking big. Like you can put like three or four cans of beer in this one mug, and it was called a Brutus. Um, and back in those days, it was like what 19 like the two or early 2000s or something, 2001, 2002, something like that. And we drank the thing and we loved it so much, but we didn't have the money to buy them, so we kind of like five finger discount them. Uh, for anybody else that doesn't know what that meaning is, kind of, well, you get to look it up. But well, anyway, so then we go and we were hanging out, but then he was going thinking, and he was like so upset. I was upset, so we were like gonna be separate. Um, but we always kept tabs on each other, and we, uh, so then we kept tabs, and sorry if I'm like trying, I'm trying to put like the sentences together, but as anybody that knows that if you love a person so much like family, kind of hard to get into words. So uh anyway, so then we go and he goes to Arkansas, or as I call it, Arkansas. And then we go about to do our thing. Uh, and he got married, and now I think at this point they have five kids, I believe. Not too sure about it, but he's married. He was married uh, to a wonderful woman, Jessica. Um, and I don't know if she's going to be listening to this, but um, she told me one time on the phone because when she told me that he passed away with uh aneurysm, and um, so then she mentioned that, she's like, yeah, this and that, and he was a huge Yankee fan, like I was, or still am, until, this past fucking season. Anyway, because I mean, if Adam was watching the thing, he would not, he'll still be a fan, but yeah. But then when he went to Arkansas, this is the other funny thing about it. He was like, well, hopefully I don't live in like a dry county because he loved his beer. And so did I. So, but then lo and behold, he lived in a dry county. So he had to drive like maybe, I think, an hour and a half to where you can be able to buy beer or any kind of liquor or something. But anyway, um, yeah, for some reason that's what came up. But Jessica told me on the phone one day and, um, told me, he's like, she goes, it's like, yeah, he really, really loved you, and I'm like more like family, and that hit hard, you know. Um, and anybody that knows me, I don't really get emotional. Uh, I try to hide it, but I'm not good at being emotional. I am definitely not. But on that note, um, Adam, if you're watching this, you're probably going, you fucking sissy. Yeah, which you probably would do. But then I took him camping. And it was me, my friend Key, and like all our friends that we always go camping. And I bring this up because of the funny story about it. Um, he at this time my wife was not going camping with me because I think she had other shit to do at one point. And I asked Adam, it's like, hey, you want to go camping? I've never gone camping in a long time. Like, all right, well, we'll go with a friend. So came up. Uh, we always go upstate, Black Bear Campground up in Florida, New York. Um, and then we go and so I waited and I waited, and then he came along. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I had this like 5-person camping tent. It had like one section where you sleep and another person can sleep in another section, and there was like another section where you can put your shoes if it's like raining or muddy and just set it so you don't track anything all over the place. Well, anyway, so he had one of the very uh one person tent wise, so it's like very long uh diamond, I don't know how you say it, like diamond or whatever. Um so at that time he was going out with some, and um and she had a daughter, and then they were like in the midst of going out or something. I don't know. So we go, or just like before he went to uh Arkansas. But we were, you know, having fun and drinking, smoking cigarettes, and partying with everybody else. But then we had this huge beer tent, um, which is the biggest thing. When you have like a lot of people and you bring a lot of alcohol, you need some kind of tent to cover it up, so make sure it's all confined. Um, so so one day, a water spout came about. And if you don't know what a water spout is, it's basically like a little uh like tornado kind of thing, like in the water. The wind picks up, and it kind of like, you know, just flies around. So all of us were protecting the beer tents at the one point. We are just holding the thing. We're holding on for dear life, like, got no problem. And Adam's holding on to the thing too. And in the corner of his eye, and I seen this too after he's seen it, and we see a tent flying around the thing. And I'm like, oh, that sucks for that person. And he looks at it and goes, that's my fucking tent. He goes, it has my clothes in it. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucked up. So he let go and he ran after it. And that was like the funniest thing about it. Yeah, because I think there is some video from a friend of ours, or a friend of mine, that might have the video of it. So Philzy, if you view this or you hear this, get in touch with me. I want to see that video. If you do have it, if not, no worries. But so that's the big thing, with that. Um, so going through that, um, there was an alcohol that I like. Since we're talking about drinking and everything else, um, on my mind for some reason, uh, a friend of mine, we could, two friends of mine that have a podcast, and they do a podcast called Campfire Classics, where they were a literary podcast, um, with Ken Sandberg and Heather Michelle Waller, which they're going to be married soon. When this comes out, they'll probably be married like maybe 2 weeks from now. Probably, I don't know. But they were talking about snakes and the book that they read, and they do literary things. So each week picks a book for each person. So Heather picked a book called The Dream Snake from what was the guy's name again? Robert E. Howard. Um, and like I said, the book is called Dream Snake. So then I'm thinking about snakes, and they're talking about snakes and snakes on trains and snakes on, whatever. But I thought about this one when we do shots when I was like 19, 20, 21, around that part. I used to go to this bar. Um, my friend Pat Bishop, and uh, we were just like, uh, we do all these shots, and it's called snake bites. Now they got other drinks that are just like liquor snake bites, which is like cider and whatever. This one is basically 2 ounces of Yukon Jack and a splash of like a half ounce of lime for the taste. Now you're wondering, Squid, why, why snake bites? That doesn't sound like it, with the ingredients, it doesn't sound like it's that much. It is when you have one or two, you have one, and they do hit you later on. So when you go in like, oh, I'm gonna have a snake bite, you knock them back, and then an hour, maybe half hour later, fucking hit you like a freight train. You're like, oh, what? But then, you get into that whole phase and the whole drinking, like, like, ugh. Um, but I'm going to read you something that I looked on there, and some bars refuse to serve snake bites because they are so strong. Don't get offended if you're a bartender. Says no. Don't get offended if the bartender says no. Simply order something else. If you prefer to skip the shake, pour the Yukon Jack directly into a shot glass and add a splash of lime. This will create a significantly stronger shot in both taste and alcohol content because it's undiluted. Rose's lime cordial or sweetened lime juice is specifically called for in this snake bite. Use another sweet lime juice. Make your own lime cordial, or simply use fresh lime juice if you prefer. So it does, and the reason I brought this up because when there was Garfield's, which is the bar I tend to, which is like second home, you know. If I'm at home, you can find me at Garfield's, because I'll be playing darts, pool, drinking, having tombstone pizzas, whatnot. Um, and we will do uh, guzzlers, which is rum and coke. It could be in a small glass or it could be in a pint glass. Yeah. Um, and you just down it like a shot. And also there's snake bites. So we have those, and we just have our grand old time. Uh, so, but the reason that there's also another reason that I bring up the podcast, which is Campfire Classic. They mentioned a reference to a movie called Cabin in the Woods, which is a horror movie. And if you don't know, Cabin in the Woods is basically what it is. It's a cabin in the woods, uh, pretty much specifically designed by the government or dark government, you know. And it's like all these people that are underground. They got all these different captured all these different types of entities or unnatural beings, like zombies and whatever. Um, but there is a type of uh, a type of thing where five people, it's like some kind of ritual. Um, that it said that they have to sacrifice five specific individuals of different nature. You could have like the guy that smokes weed, the jock, the the cutest girl, the one that is the virgin, and then there's like another person. And if they all been sacrificed to a certain god that's below or a titan, then that gives them they could sacrifice those specific people for more time, like a millennium, um, to be living on Earth. Earth would be able to live on for another millennium. And then when that comes around, if you cannot produce or have sacrificial lamb, um, then then the Earth is doomed, and then Titans roam around and destroy everything. Um, so that's what it came about, and I love that movie. And but you think about it, could it be true? Can it be true that for us to be living for this long on Earth, and how Earth is, can it be that five individual persons um, are the reasoning or be used for a sacrificial thing? It makes the mind wonder. It makes me wonder. I'm like, I like these weird, stuff, but eh, it is what it is. Um, so now let's move on to, well, we talk about that, and we jump into like another scary story. Uh, Stealth. Um, I'm gonna try to find something here. Maybe. Wait, let's go to the beginning. Um, let's see. We will try O'Hara Castle or Othika, number 37. Let's see what 37 says. Hello, where's the numbers? Hello. Um, Hold on 1 second. Just bear with me, folks. This is a tale to see. Um, well, you know what? Let's try this one. Okay. So, St. James General Store. You can find everything at the St. James General Store, from wooden toys to fudge to books to candles, if you're lucky or unlucky. Dun dun dun. Um, you might also find a ghost or two wandering the floors. Um, Ebenezer Smith, not Ebenezer Scrooge. That's a different story. We're not going to go into that. That's Christmas. Opened the store in 1857 after a successful visit out west in the early 1850s. He heard about the California gold rush. Gold. Wish I had that. Tempted by the promise of riches, he grabbed his mule and supplies and headed across the country to turn the page, find gold. After a few years and some success, he returned to Long Island and opened a general store. Eventually, his son, Everett Smith, took over. The store was an important place for everybody in the community. They could buy what they needed, from medicine to horse supplies to groceries. It was also the site of the first post office in town and the very first telephone. The townspeople could count on finding what they need and catching up on local gossip anytime they stopped in. In fact, the store was so central to life in town that all the paraders kicked off right from the front porch. The store hasn't changed since 1894. The wood counters, flooring, potbelly stove, and tea canisters are all original. In 1999, that's pretty much what Prince likes. It's like we're gonna party like it's 1999, but instead, we got Karen Sheedy, um, became the store's general manager. Her favorite thing about the St. James General Store is the smell. There is a smell every so often that just reminds me of the quintessential general store, she says. While Karen loves the cozy feel and nostalgic smell of the store, she also is aware that there might be more of the store's past lingering in the shadows. One of her former employees, Grace, was once closing the store when she noticed something out of the corner of her eye. She absolutely knew that she was alone, but she was certain that the saw a little girl wearing old-fashioned clothing. The girl had long dark hair, brown eyes. She made a face, like she was scarred or scared, and then vanished in a flash. At first, Grace was worried that someone had left the child alone in the store, but then she realized the spookier truth. She was alone, there was no child, and there was very possibility a ghost. Grace isn't the only person who felt this or seen the presence of a child. Another employee, Doris, heard a child crying when she was all alone in the store. She checked all around, inside and outside the store. While she was absolutely convinced that the crying was coming from inside the store, she couldn't find any evidence that someone was in the building with her. Moving on to the next page, Doris also felt a cold spot upstairs. Something's something several employees have felt over the years. As she walked past the counter, she felt a freezing cold spot. She was so afraid she just kept on walking and headed downstairs. That's what I would do. Yeah. Uh, like, see you later. Bye bye. And uh, the air conditioner wasn't on. There wasn't any open window nearby blowing in the cold air. It was absolutely in, inexplicable and chilling. Madeline, a current employee at the store, has also felt a cold spot in the store. Just like Doris, she couldn't find any explanation for the brief cold moment. It happened so fast. She was also sometimes finds books thrown all around the upstairs room, a room she knows to be perfectly neat and tidy when she left at the night before. While some might be scared by the unexplained mess, Madeline believes it's the work of a mischievous spirit. Over 14 years at the store, she only witnessed signs of ghosts 3 or 4 times. And that's not enough to scare her. When she tells people the story, she laughs. What would you do if you worked at a haunted general store? Would you stick around after your first ghostly encounter? Would you find it funny like Madeline did, or would you walk out and never return? So what would you do? Would you go and stick around and check it out and see what goes on, what goes bumping at night in the general store? Who's buying the store? Who's minding the store? And who is basically want to be an employee of the store where they didn't have an interview. But I'm just going to do the one thing because I got other different stuff going on over here. So we talked about that. Talked about that. Um, we caught about that. I got my little notes over here, so um, so that way I can keep fresh of what's going on. Oh, so there is a YouTube show. Well, there was a YouTube show. It was called Yeah Mad, um, and it's a crew. Uh, Basically, it's a crew of these people, but there's more people. But I don't really know. But the reason why I'm bringing up these people, which is Akila Amartunga, Abby Boone, Samantha Walsh, Andrew Hamilton, and Alan Fang, which are five of pretty much the ones that made up the Yeah Mad crew. Now they're called the OG crew. They're back. They have a YouTube channel, as you can figure, the OG crew. Um, they do different stuff. I've only seen like the beginning of how everything became about. Um, but in the beginning, they were doing like dad jokes back and forth. So if you make the person laugh, that person laughs. If that person laughs, that person drinks and whatnot. So it is like, it's either one on one or it's like two on two, and then the rest of them sit in, the background and watch, and then they laugh and they put their 2 cents in or whatever. So now they have, like I said, they have a new channel um, called the OG Crew, which is it's funny as hell. I love it. It's all five of them. And in the beginning, it was just like an introduction to their channel, like how they came about, what they did, how how they thought of the name, how they trying to think of the name. Um, how we all done it. We done like the podcast where this is our beginning story. This is what I did. This is what I did. This is what he did. That's what they did. And so then they did one episode already where they would do like beer pong. But instead of just doing like beer and the chugging, I think they had like certain mixed little drinks in there. And it would be a truth or dare kind of thing. So we get in there, somebody either has to tell the truth or they gotta do a dare. And once I mostly, well, you'll see it. I'll put it in the description box, like the link for their YouTube and all that, which I would love either to get all of them together, and hang out, talk to me like how I used to do it. Or if I can get one or two, if they're possible, you it'd be nice to talk to them, and pick their brains and find out what they like and what would because I know it's probably going to be bedazzling. I don't know, is that the word for it? Or just craziness, either with two people or all of them. And you know what I'm talking about. I had a bunch of different podcast, people that gave me that same energy. So also here's another fun fact, which I've been watching another YouTube channel, which is I mentioned this before, which is called the Reaction. But they had this good notion or gumption about gumption. Is that really a word? Gumption? Yeah. Um, if you see something moving in the background, that's not a ghost. I get the little heating thing on the bottom there, so it's uh yeah, yeah. See, it just goes up, and there's my Iron Maiden. Um, hopefully it's not going to get copyrighted. But um, anyway, so they had this game called, it's called Fuck, Marry, Kill, and it's you can use any kind of thing. You can have like Marvel characters, or you can have whatever. I find it funny that you do Disney characters. That's what they did. So you can just do any kind of different sections, like um, like the evil queens, and then like who would you fuck, who would you marry, who would you kill, and you know, do all that kind of shit. But who would you do? Like for a Disney character, who would you fuck, who would you marry, and who would you kill? This is not for kids. So if you have your kids listening to this, I apologize for the cursing, but it's me and I have it down there. So don't have kids listening. Uh, I don't want to be the reason why they're cursing. School is like, oh, well, I was listening to Tattoo Squid. Well, who the fuck is that? I'm like, I don't know. Well, anyway, so that would be, but now you don't have to say, fuck, or you don't have to say beep. You can say boop. So you can boop, marry, or kill. and kills like a harsh word as it is too. But um, where are we at now? Uh, oh, okay. So there is. I love heavy metal. Heavy metal. I love it with a passion. Um, there was a band that I think in 2010. I believe 2010. No, well, yeah, probably 2010. So when I was in Pennsylvania, and then I found out about this band, and I seen it on YouTube, or I actually seen it on I think MTV at one point. Um, and they are called the Butcher Babies, uh, which basically it's two. There's a vocalist and a co-vocalist. So it's two women, very sexy women, which one they're your like your it factor, especially for the guys, it's like eye candy somewhat, yeah. But they do belt out a lot of vocal screams, a lot of vocal growls. Um, and they had like I think 5 albums, one EP, um, dozen videos, and they've been touring all over the place, toured with every Jewish priest, um, the one what's that one? There's no female group. There's a bunch of female groups they were touring with as well. Um, but now and I've seen them, not them, but I've seen like one of the vocalists recently on TikTok, and they she did posting a bunch of stuff, and it just seemed like okay, she's there, but what happened to Carl? So there's Heidi Shepard and Carla Harvey. Uh, excuse me. Which Carla Harvey is going out with oh well, he's a drummer of Anthrax. Um Charlie Bentony. And then that it's gonna be hard for me to do that. But anyway, you know who Anthrax is. If you don't know who Anthrax is, just get the album and listen. You'll love it. Yeah. Butcher Babies, you'll love it too. Um, well, anyway, so I seen that they posted a thing for TikTok, and it was Heidi Shepard posted on there. She was singing. I'm like, okay, well, where's co-vocalist? And apparently, she stepped away and they parted ways, which that kind of hurt, But then I read why, and and so they've been together for 15 years, uh, and they're everybody has like a certain person that or band that they look up to, and there was the Plasmatics uh, that they looked up to, and they would try to be like the lead vocalist, which she's been in a bunch of B movies. Wendy O, I think it's Wendy O. Um, I know it's something O, but uh, she's been in a bunch of movies like B movies, like like one of those women's sorority or oh, I don't want to say something that's gonna be like so stupid. You're like, well, you know what you're talking about, but and I can't remember it. My brain is just maybe because I'm 51 and my brain is just going. Um, well, anyway, so they were doing that whole thing where their idol was that person from the Plasmatics, and they go on to do various albums. Um, and they did a recent one. So now the band is putting something together, but without Carl Harvey. So from what I understand, and I've seen this, I have it down here. She says Carl Harvey says that I have a history of problematic vision, and I had to have a major surgery about 10 years ago in my right eye for a retinal detachment. Uh, on our summer tour, the telltale symptoms repeated themselves in her left eye. I've been hoping to avoid major surgery, but it's clear it must be done. My emergency surgery will include a healing process of laying face down for a number of days with a gas bubble in my eye. She also added, this is the first time in 15 years I would not be able to join my friends on stage, but right now my health and sight take precedence for her. While I am gutted and I cannot make the tour, the risk of me waiting till after a tour to do a surgery is too great and includes permanent vision loss. So, with all that, I know for a fact that they are that she's going to be doing this, and she's doing this. And I also read, which I didn't put into the whole thing, that uh, she knows for a fact that uh, Heidi is can handle the singing duties and everything else just by herself alone. My thing is, I don't know if there's a lot of people were saying about like this doesn't really coincide with the same, but everybody's talking about like Linkin Park in the beginning, like okay, Chester passed away, and then the band doesn't play anything, but then now they get a new singer, they do this whole thing, blah blah blah, and everybody's in roaring, um, disgust about it, like oh why why you have this person saying this and this. Um, I don't bring that up because these are two different entities, two different bands, two different uh, styles, and two different types of things. One, Chester passes away, uh, suicide wise. Um, Carla had surgery done where she is going to be gone for a full length of time and not going to have the band held back. So they're, listen, I'm doing this. I got to do what's right, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But, and also I understand. We call it that if the record label is pressuring said band to go and make something because you're on a contract of you had to make a certain amount of albums, and you have to get it done, or you're just going to get totally screwed. Um, I personally would say, to do stuff on the outside or the inside and just help out different bands or something, or I don't know. But I am no musician. I am not touring around the world. I am here talking. Uh, which comes to mind that I think we are at the end of everything. So, um, if you like all the stuff I've been doing right now, and if you want to hear more and you want to see more like the videos, go to YouTube, go like, subscribe, comment down below anything that you want to see me talk about, me what you want to see done, what's next, you know what's on your minds, what is your in what you envision me the squid um to maybe not be burping every fucking time I'm talking, but that's because of this fucking thing right here. Um, Also, if you're listening to this and not looking at the YouTube video, then you can like, follow, and review, and then you can just review it with five other people, um, or whoever, and share it with other people to say, hey, listen to this wacky motherfucker over here. He's talking about all these different things. It's almost like he's has like a late night talk show kind of thing, but it's like verbally talking on a podcast. Um, and if you hear some kind of noise, I think that's the shower going. I think. Um, yeah, so I have a link tree actually, be precise. A link tree. So it's linktr.ee/ that's capital T A2SQUID PODCAST. So that's Tattoo Squid Podcast. Click on that or go to that link tree, and you'll get all the different links to wherever you listen to your podcast, um, the YouTube channel itself, um, the store that you can be able to buy merch where you get shirts, hoodies. This is not it, obviously. You can get like shirts or tank tops or sweatshirts, hoodies, zip up hoodies, skateboards, whatever, pencils or stickers, pins, you name it, you'll have it. Um, what else? Like I said, I'll be on TikTok. You can go to Instagram, which is Tattoo Squid. So that's TATOSQUID dot podcast. And like I said, there's Snapchat, there's TikTok, I think Tumblr's on there. Um, I would love, love, and I love MySpace. If we can get MySpace to fucking come back, I'll be the happiest motherfucker in the world. Yeah, because I love that one. You post like, and if anybody that doesn't know what MySpace is, well, then you're too young to listen to this. But if you're my age and you're just old as shit and you know what MySpace is, um, you can say, that MySpace is where you can post all your different videos. If you love, if you love hip hop, if you love uh country, if you whatever, if you like movies, you like horror movies, you put little clips of them down there. You got the little talk thing. You can have like uh your top friends, not like Facebook. You can have like 5,000 friends, but MySpace at that time you can have the top like eight, um, and whatnot. So if anybody's listening to this, that it deals with MySpace or that little guy is our friend, the very first friend that comes on the MySpace and just sits there and goes, yeah. Um, which I was just, I leaned over and smiled like I was in the like, sitting on a desk in high school, like hi, you know. Um, but yeah, so give a follow. Um, because right now we call it the last video I seen, and uh, I'm very grateful for everybody that has viewed, and it was like like nearly 190 views, which to me that's a lot for me, because usually like my views were more like I don't know, like 1 to 15 or 1 to 10. Seeing like the last episode I had was like 198. That I almost fainted. I was like, wow. Now if I can get a lot of followers, the sky's the fucking limit. I mean, I can't really say a lot of I can't show a lot of like, crazy shit. I mean, I probably could. A lot of people have done that before. Um, but I really love doing this, YouTube stuff, which And I was very iffy about because I I've always said before, I'm like I like to be heard, not seen, because this face doesn't seem like it's a, a thing for TV or just viewing, but it works. Um, Also, I'm going to be picking 12 podcasts uh, for my 12 days of Squidmas, which I had done, I think, 2 years in a row. I think last year I was going through a dry patch, a dry spell of sorts. Definitely going to try to do it this year. So I am going to pick yeah, some of those people of podcasts and all that. So, like I said, give me a follow. Uh, you know, come say hi. I haven't really done any kind of stuff outside. Wish I could. Um, if you live in Long Island and you heard about Tattoo Squid, if you see me driving around, I'm not hard. You can probably find it on my license plate. I don't know if I should say that. I don't have like people following me around. But hey, if you know who I am, you see this face, and if you listen to the podcast, yeah, just go up, say hi, you know, have a conversation, whatever. I don't really drink anymore, so I'll have coffee. All right, folks, take it easy. I will bid you adieu, and I will um definitely talk to you again. All right, well, have an awesome day. Adios. And where's that button? Oh, there.